What is Tier 2 reporting? Is it the same as community right to know reporting? How much does it cost? Who actually needs to report? And what happens if I miss the deadline? If you're asking any of these questions, then you're in the right place. Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about Tier 2 reporting in one video so you can stop guessing and start focusing on compliance. I'm Chris Rulin from RMA, and today we're talking about Tier 2 reporting, a key requirement under the Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act, or EPCRA for short. This isn't just for large chemical manufacturers. Tier 2 reporting applies to an incredibly large variety of small, medium, and large businesses across the United States, storing various materials on site. So whether you're an EHS, run operations, or you're a small business owner juggling it all, this is for you. Let's start off simple. What is Tier 2 reporting? A lot of people come to us because they've either missed a deadline, gotten a compliance notice, or they just don't know how to navigate any of this reporting noise. The questions are usually the same. What does it cost? How long does it take? And what happens if I don't do it? Here's the deal. If you miss the March 1st reporting deadline, you're not just risking fines. You're potentially putting people at risk, and that includes your local fire, police, and EMS. Those are the folks who show up first in an emergency, and Tier 2 data helps them know what they're walking into. When that information isn't submitted and something goes wrong, the consequences can be catastrophic. If someone gets injured, or worse, and your facility failed to report hazardous materials that responders should have known about, you can be held liable. The legal, financial, and reputational fallout can be massive, not to mention the moral weight of that outcome. Reporting isn't just compliance, it's accountability. And when you skip it, you're not just breaking a rule, you're gambling with the lives of the people in your community. Another common question is, how much does it cost? In general, Tier 2 reporting can cost anywhere from $1,500 to $7,500. Why the range? It depends on your facility, the size, the number of materials stored, previous reporting history, and, let's be honest, how well your data is organized. Some reports take a week, others take over a month. Some of the most common problems we see are usually tied to poor inventory management. Not knowing how much of a hazardous material you store on site is the number one cause of headaches. Outdated SDSs can also make the process more complex than it needs to be. And when folks hear hazardous materials, many say, oh, we don't store anything dangerous on site. Well, that's not necessarily true. Tier 2 reporting kicks in if you hit a certain threshold of various materials. The baseline is simple. If the material has an SDS and exceeds the applicable reporting threshold, then it's reportable. Simple things like sand or vegetable oil stored in bulk can be considered hazardous for various reasons. Everyday items found at commercial, industrial, or other operations like batteries, propane, or common industrial lubricants can trip Tier 2 thresholds depending on how much you store. We've seen everything from auto shops to school districts to even hospitals to concrete plants to data centers fall under this rule. Where do people get stuck? Usually, they wait until the last week of February, where they bring incomplete data to the project. And yeah, we hear it a lot. I've never done this before, and no one's asked me to do it. Do I really need to? The answer is yes. And just because you haven't been caught doesn't mean you're in the clear. Compliance is about being proactive, not reactive. It's like car insurance. You don't need it until you need it. How is Tier 2 reporting different from TRI? Just to clear up a common mix-up, Tier 2 reporting is not the same as TRI reporting. Yes, both are under EPCRA and involve chemicals, but that's where the similarities end. Different triggers, different deadlines, different enforcement bodies. Think of it like the difference between your property and your income tax. Similar, but totally separate. And Tier 2 reporting can often carry different names. EPCRA reporting, SARA reporting, Title III reporting, Section 311, 312 reporting, hazardous material business plans in California, community right to know reporting. The list goes on, but the regulations, for the most part, is identical across the United States. If you're considering outsourcing your Tier 2 reporting, here's how we do it. We review your inventory, ask about your material usage and storage practices, quantify thresholds, prepare reports, and handle submissions through state-specific reporting portals. Depending on the complexity, it can take a week or more to finalize, especially if you're new to the process. Bear in mind, not every facility needs to file. It depends on the type and quantity of hazardous materials and how they're stored on site. And even if you do hit a threshold, you might not need a consultant. A lot of businesses we talk to can easily handle this in-house with the right tools and training. Others, especially for reporting across multiple states, may benefit from outside help. It all depends on how much time and resources you have at your disposal. How are we different at RMA? We don't hand this off to junior staff or run it through some generic online AI tool. We bring decades of expertise to each report we submit. We know the right questions to ask and how to submit clean, accurate, and complete Tier 2 reports on time. And when the reports are submitted, the best result we get is silence. No follow-ups, no enforcement actions, no confusion from any agencies. They leave you alone and we're happy. That means the agencies have what they need, and that's exactly what we're aiming for. If there's one thing we wish more companies understood, it's this. Tier 2 compliance can be confusing, and non-compliance can cost you big. You need to understand your inventory, your storage practices, and your obligations under EPCRA. It's not just some nebulous reporting requirement. It's simple and proactively keeps your community and your staff safer. There's more to it than all this, and we dive into that in detail in the article on our website, which we've linked below. So if you think you might need to file or want a second set of eyes, give us a call, send us an email, or fill out a form on our website. We're not here to scare you, just to make Tier 2 reporting as straightforward as possible. Let's get your Tier 2 reporting done right and on time.